Okay, hi everyone. I'm Dr. Downing, and sometimes I use videos in class to get everybody on the same page. And I've got different types of videos. Some videos that I use are for all of my classes, and they detail specific policies, sort of across the board. And then I have videos that point to various assignments and whatnot. I find it to be an excellent tool because me just talking to you one way, for example, is one thing. But when I'm up on the screen talking, and then you look at that, and then you turn to me, it like creates this conversation that we can have then. So it works out pretty well. Okay, so my intention today is to share my screen. So I'm going to do that, and that's Zoom. So I'm going to go here. So there's this bar that floats around that I'm going to move. You will have to do a video later in the semester. So I don't know if you've ever had any experience recording yourself on Zoom and then publishing that on YouTube, but that's what we're going to do. Not to worry, if you want to take it down after the class, you can. There are also settings so you can make it private. So we watch it in class. So we learn about, it can be varying things depending on which class you're in specifically. But all my classes do videos at the end. They're essential to sort of the class coming full circle and then you being up there talking to us and us getting to know a little bit about you. And that's how we bring everything together in my classes. So, right, I'm showing my hand already. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to cover. This is probably going to be a reasonably long video. So take a breath. If you need to pause and get yourself a snack, you can do that and then come back to that if you're watching at home. Otherwise, we'll cover it in class, and here we go. So this is video number one for all my classes. Just checking that we've got the screen share going. We do. Welcome to class. My name is Michael Downing, Dr. Michael Downing. A little bit about my background. I'm a Pennsylvania kid, and I'm a product of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education. That's what PASHE means. Will allow me to do it like that. Yep. My academic and professional background. So on the academy side, my schooling side is I went to Clarion University where I completed two degrees, one in English and one in communication, bachelor's degrees. And then I was invited back to earn a master's degree, which was pretty cool, and they paid for it, which was pretty cool. I was able to put something together with housing on the living side and then the English department on the academic side, and they paid my tuition. And I was a resident assistant in the dorms, and I did that for a couple of years and got my master's degree. Beyond that, after I had my master's, I started teaching at community colleges around the Pittsburgh area, Butler County Community College and the Community College of Allegheny County and Beaver Community College, right? Those are the big three over there. Westmoreland, I guess, but I did not teach there. So I did that, but it was hard to move forward with an academic career without a PhD, and everybody was basically telling me that. So I interviewed at Carnegie Mellon and Pitt, but then I went to IUP, which is a state school, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and they were awesome. They said, welcome, and they found an assistantship for me, and they paid for everything, and they have a very good quality program. So I completed a PhD in literature. That's my primary topic, drama, and the American short story. So those are my three broad areas. I did my master's thesis on Alfred Hitchcock. So if you want to talk about movies or literature, I'll talk to you about August Wilson coming up in that. You see this on the next line, August Wilson. I don't want to do a deep dive now, but I want to plant the seed of August Wilson. He is an American playwright who was born and raised in Pittsburgh, and I lived in Pittsburgh, and I became an August Wilson fan. And I've done a lot of work in the world of August Wilson scholarship. I had the August Wilson website, augustwilson.net, and then I did the August Wilson blog, which I did about 500 entries over the years on that. And then that turned into the August Wilson Journal, which is an academic journal published by the University of Pittsburgh. I have presented and published on August Wilson for about 30 years now and would be recognized as one of the leading scholars in the area. I put that down though a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 2002, I want to say. I did it for 30 years, but I found that, I wanted to do other things. I wanted to work on my blog and my own writing and my poetry, and have since published some poetry. So let me go here for a second. This is my recent poetry publication, my book on poetry, River Names, a collection of nature poetry. And I'll zoom in, you can see my name there. So the story on these, I don't want to do a deep dive, but this goes back many years when I started to write poems, when I started to teach, as I mentioned. And I would have the opportunity to put together some, like as a break from writing my dissertation. And I would write these poems, and I have revised them little by little by little over the years, and then offered them to a publisher, and she said I would love to publish these. So that is there. And let me show you. August Wilson Journal is here. And I created all of this, all of the policies, all of the background. The image here I got permission to use, that's from a mural in Pittsburgh. The styles of everything about the journal, how to submit, who the editorial team is, all of that. I should be listed here still as editorial advisor. Mm-hmm. And to show you what August Wilson looks like, there he is. He died in 2005, at the age of 60. Mm-hmm. I never was able to meet him or talk with him. Came close many times. Have talked with members of his family. His family will call me when they see. It's the problem with being an expert on somebody whose family is still alive. That kind of stuff can happen. But there goes August. He wrote 10 plays, one for each decade of the 20th century, is widely considered one of America's greatest playwrights. Okay, so you see how this is going to go, and I'm just going to continue. My hobbies and interests, which we can talk about. I want engagement in all of my classes. I'm going to open the door right at the beginning. If you think that this is just all going to be driven by me the whole time, that's not the case. There's something called the Socratic method, and that's question and answer. I ask you questions, you give me answers. You ask me questions, I give you answers, all to the best of our ability. Where we figure out, right? There are some things where I'm going to give you as assignments, and other things I'm going to give you room. I want you to be engaged in asking questions in the class. So, things we can talk about beyond the class. Hobbies and interests. I love reading. I read massively. We can talk about things that you read. Hopefully, you do read. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Like there's a whole bunch of books on the shelf behind me. I know I'm at the beach, right? But there's a whole bunch of books. I'm in my office. It's kind of a mess. So I have the background up. Um, Books that I'll just go and open and be like, oh, Frankenstein then did this. Oh, that's amazing. I'll read a page or two and put it back up. You see what I mean? If you have books, you don't need to sit and read from page one, word one, till the very end. This is something that I learned in all my schooling. I would bounce around. Now, in a novel, that's tougher to do, I understand. So, reading, I love it. Travel, and travel actually takes me to my blog. So, let me bounce out to this drmichaeldowning.com. And this is my blog. It's called My Writing Wonderland. And it has evolved to being mostly a travel journal. Let me jump down to the bottom. It'll go. There we go. I started this maybe in 2002, like in August. So it's probably 3.5 years old, I want to guess. But you see, I'm having to work to get to the bottom. I tend to stay busy with this. So June 2022. Oh, 4 years. Okay. So in 4 years, I don't know how much I've published, but here it is, experimenting with an AI image just for the heck of it to see how goofy it looked. And here is something that I did where there was the Kutztown Cruise, which was a car show, and I went and I took a bunch of pictures of that and then wrote it up to show my students on my Keystone staff, the Keystone newspaper, I'm the advisor of it, how to put together a story like this, an eye-catching, eye-popping story of high interest locally. I'll let that scroll for a moment. I also posted a video somewhere, I think at the top. The reason I'm dwelling on this is because, here's the video. When I'm teaching, I'll let this roll. Of course, it doesn't want to. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to close that tab because it's slow. What I'm trying to teach then with that, and when I'm talking to professional writing students and communication students, anybody who might be trying to establish themselves in the world of writing, publishing, content creation, setting up a blog, setting up a YouTube channel, publishing to your blog, connecting it to your videos, and then doing videos on the things that you write about, similar to what you're seeing here. Now, there's also something called Substack, which we'll talk more about primarily in journalism class, but that's out there as well, which has incorporated many of the things that I have been trying to teach. Right. So, there's newsletters and you publish on Substack and all that stuff. I'm not going to do a deep dive on that. But I was at the point of talking about travel. So let me bounce up. If you have questions about this blog, I'm happy to talk about it. I love talking about it. So we did a trip to London, and I'm just going to pull this one out of midair. This is chapter 11, Liverpool. So there's a picture of my wife with Paul McCartney. I think it's a Paul McCartney cutout, but for our stories, we're going to call it Paul McCartney. There's that, and then I've posted images here. Oh, there's me with Paul. He was feeling a little flat that day, and a lot of Beatles stuff, and a beautiful little place, Liverpool. It was a great visit. Went to a cat cafe. Yeah, more on Canada. I'm sorry, more on Great Britain, Scotland, Edinburgh, Oban. It's all here. I need to get back to my script. That then transformed into Canada. So let me stop here. So here's Stratford, Canada 2025, Part 4, where I talk about visiting Stratford, and there's City Hall and all of this. So what I'm driving at here is that for professional writing majors and people who are interested in publishing and content creation, this is the way to do it. If you were looking for a job and you could send me a link to your blog where you had written like 20 articles and taken the pictures and you understand publishing and writing and revision and clarity and audience and all that, it is huge rather than you just saying like on your resume or cover letter that you understand those things. All right. Trying to move forward. All right. I love music, cooking, craftsmanship. I can do all kinds of crafts, electrical, plumbing, carpentry. I reworked a van to create a camper van out of a Dodge ProMaster, and that's this. There is information. There's a slideshow on the blog. All right. So these are my introductions of me. Take a breath. Pleased to meet you. Fragrance. I have a zero tolerance policy on fragrance in the classroom. Please don't wear it. Please develop your awareness of it. Please don't spray things on or rub things on. And if you're using fragrance, I would urge you to take a look at that. There are a lot of poisons that are incorporated into fragrance, and they're finding out more and more. Just dig a little bit and you'll find out. It is a lightly regulated industry. Okay, hi, I'm back. I had a minor technical issue, so let me get back into screen share mode. And here we are. So I was talking about fragrance, and to conclude that thought is that people like if a big star wants to make quick money, guess what they do? They launch a fragrance. So Johnny Depp or whoever the hell is out there. I don't have anything against that guy personally, but I watch them, right? And it's because it's lightly regulated and they put all kinds of weird stuff in there. I did have something on my desktop that I can probably open. I'm not going to right now. Let's move forward. The four agreements. I urge you to follow all of them, particularly in my composition class and in journalism, because we'll be talking about current events. A little bit in tech writing, but not like the other two classes. What are the four agreements? Be impeccable with your word. Speak your truth as honestly as you can. Don't try to inflame people or what do they call it? Troll people. Please, let's not do that. My idea behind a college course is that we engage in debate so that we can self-define. What are my ideas about the world? And I'm going to look at things and figure out how I feel about various issues. So when you speak in class and when you write in class, I want it to be your words and I want it to be impeccable. Okay. Number two, don't take things personally. Things may get said, opinions may be expressed in the classroom that you may not disagree with. It's not about you. That is that person trying to work out their stuff. So don't worry about it. You may get really mad, but it's them saying it. I will coach and guide, and we're not going to jump right into hot topics. We're going to sort of see how we can do as a class. Don't make assumptions. That's about taking things personally as well. It's tied to that. I mean, don't assume that somebody is talking about you or anything. Don't make any assumptions. Just keep your heart clear and clean with impeccability. Don't take anything personally. It's not about you, it's about them. And don't make assumptions about any of that. Finally, always do your best. Give me your best. I will give you my best. Class after class after class. I work hard. I develop my courses around my students, meaning I write them each semester. I don't, I'm still not using like a book or a syllabus from 8 years ago because, yeah, this is what writing is, and we're going to go through the book written by somebody else. That's fine. Other people can do that. It's not what I do. So I'm talking about giving my best and where my expectation is with that. Town hall rules. As we talk in class, you speak in class as though you were at a borough council meeting and there were other serious adults in the room. Profanity is not tolerated. I'm involved in the local borough activities. I'm on the environmental advisory committee, and you can't go in there and start swearing. You'll be escorted out. Threatening language is not tolerated. You speak of your experiences and your ideas, always for the greater good. That's the attitude to the best of your knowledge. That's the way we'll speak in class. I'll try to step it up here. Peer partners. I don't want to miss this. I'm going to get you into groups of 4, and you're going to pair up with 2 at a time. So here's how that goes. We'll get into groups. You'll get to know one another. Make sure you get to know the last names of the people in your group and then color code their photos if necessary so that you can see who the people are in your group when we're doing peer review on any assignment. We'll talk more about that. Mentoring. The university is sponsoring a mentoring program where it works with alumni who are more than willing to come back into the classroom to talk to students. So we can have somebody in as a guest. I'm getting the main computer at the front of the room retrofitted so that it's Zoom capable. It is not Zoom capable at this point. So this is a big opportunity. We will discuss this in greater detail going forward. Self-motivation, I've touched on this, but let's just talk about it. This is a class of exploration. All my classes are. Of yourself, your writing, the world around you, the readings, links are posted on the Google Drive. Be curious about the things that I post. Look at them. Again, this is going to be the reading and the writing is related to research, but even like in tech writing, there are models that I put up. Go into D2L, look at them, look at the models on the Google. It's not hard. It's just a matter of developing the discipline to do it. Okay. And it says here it's mostly social media and that is available through your phones. That's for composition class. So we'll just let that alone for a moment. It snuck in here. Student contributions, that's for composition class as well. But really, the door is open for you. If you guys have a music video that you want me to look at, share with the class, I can do that. If you have a book, if you have a good show that you want to share with the class, don't make me stand here like entertaining you the whole time. Contribute. This is your class. Reading. Now, this is for composition class, the Atlantic and newspaper articles. But in journalism, we'll be looking at newspaper articles and the Atlantic and the New York Times and those other things. I'll introduce all of those subscriptions that we have through Rohrbach Library to all the classes so that you can take advantage of those. Philosophy, right? Humanity. I want to locate the human in you. In the sea of digital noise that we're all swimming in, this AI generated digital sea. I want to help you develop informed opinions about the world around you while helping you to powerfully develop your writing skills. And in journalism and technical writing specifically, to learn precisely, what the techniques are for those particular genres. Models for all my classes. I tend not to use rubrics. I use models instead. Models will be located on the Google Drive. If you have a question, maybe one of the assignments doesn't have a model or something, or you can't access it, then let me know. Follow the models. I do this quickly for a couple of reasons. First of all, when you go into the jobs site, the job location, right, wherever you're working, they're not going to give you a rubric. They'll give you models, though. And the other struggle that I have with rubrics is I set them up and they're detailed and they're perfect. And then a semester or two goes by and they're dated and they don't work anymore and I have to deconstruct them. So I'm always redoing the damn rubrics. No, let's look at models and then discuss. Platforms, let me circle back to that and probably add to that right down here somewhere. I offer global feedback in my classes, meaning there will be due dates listed on the timeline that tell you when rough drafts are due to your Google folder. I will open the Google folder and I will click through all of the drafts and you will see what I see. You will see, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's missing. Nobody submitted anything. Oh, and that's a half a page. What's going on with that? And that one's good and that one's good. You'll see the experience. What I will then do is provide feedback because I will look at the assignments before class and then I will come in and give global feedback. You'll have the opportunity on the spot to make changes and ask questions. That's how we roll along. I do that for a specific reason. It works. Second, I'm not going to be one of these professors, if you've ever had a teacher like this, who gathers up all your papers and then disappears for weeks, and then you get it back 4 weeks later, and you needed to have that feedback sooner. So I try to give you feedback in real time when you're there in the classroom. Okay, I was at platforms. My office, office hours, and email addresses are on the front page of the course syllabus. Course syllabus is posted under content on Desire to Learn. Day-to-day material will be posted to the Google Drive in a folder as we cover it. So day-to-day is Google Drive. Google Drive is Sandbox. It's where you create drafts. Final official things, syllabus, timeline, grading takes place on D2L. You will also submit all of your assignments to D2L as well as wherever, the drafts are due to Google and the final versions as PDFs are due to D2L. That is the lockbox. More on that later. What I'm trying to communicate here is note, don't look for my office hours anywhere but the syllabus. Each year, KU comes at us with new platforms, and no human can keep up with updating all the information on all these platforms every semester. So don't go to my KU and engage and Starfish work directly with me, human to human. Yeah, I would be endlessly revising rubrics and updating my contact information. It's impossible. Automated signature and physical signature. I want you to do both. I have this in here as a note and a reminder. Automated signature is email signature. Let me bring this up. I'll show you how. The physical signature is your writing. I've done this for years now, and I think it's worth it. That'll be an in-class thing. Video production skills. Think about this from the start of the class. If you want to do an introductory video, I would love that. I can't require it though for the whole class early on. It gets in the way too much. You will have to do one at the end, but I would love to have a 5-minute video or 3-minute video of you saying, "Hi, my name is Chuck and I love sports betting." I don't know, right? I love the Eagles. What is a certain band? Tell me about yourself. LinkedIn, we will create an account for you and you will connect to everybody in the class and you should update your page. I have watched people get jobs through LinkedIn. I'm not the biggest lover of social media at all, but I have seen students get jobs through LinkedIn. So I'm going to encourage that. It's going to be required. Ongoing assignments and in-class assignments, there will be both. You will see and understand. So, right, you're always going to have writing assignments that are due, but there will also be like, oh, here's a worksheet. You come to class and fill out the worksheet and hand it in. So I want to make a distinction about that. Here's the worksheets and exercises. Those will be ongoing. Hang in there, just a little bit more. Citations will be emphasized in all classes. Easy Bib for tech and comp. according to and emerging methods for journalism. The standard intro for a citation, meaning in journalism, is according to the New York Times, according to this author, and they don't add like works cited pages at the end of a journalism article, right? You've never seen that. Tech, though, we do look at various methods of citation and composition as well. So we will get to that. And what I'm trying to add here is there are emerging methods in the world of journalism that I'm seeing. First of all, you've got embedded links. So if you are citing something, you see this all the time when you're on your phone and you look at an article, it'll take you through the link. So we'll do that. And also, I'm seeing other methods like sources listed at the end of journalism style articles, which I think is good. I mean, I think that's how the real field of journalism is trying to evolve beyond all of the garbage now that you see that is like auto-generated junk stories that bury the lead intentionally because it's clickbait. Yeah, more on that later. Classroom guests for all classes throughout the semester. I've asked IT to take care of room functionality on our classroom computer, and we should be able to invite guests in and schedule them, and they will talk to us. And do I have mentor? I talked about mentors. So we can bring in mentors that way. I like to do social things in class. For sure, I want to do photos on campus, which is always fun. We pick a nice day, we go outside, I give you some basic photography instruction, and you take some pictures. I've also experimented with other things. The problem has been in this classroom, there used to be available classrooms, two of them on the other side of that wall there, right? I guess it would be behind me now as I'm on the screen. But people move into those and they squat. And it's all really unfortunate because what happens is somebody comes along and says, this space now belongs to such and such faculty organization or something like that. And there's no one ever in it. So like, once a month they have a meeting or something and maybe a few other things. But that whole, it's aggravating to me because it gets taken away from me. So I can't do my magic with social time. Because I used to split the class and we'd go in separate rooms and play cards and things like that, but that's gone. There's, yeah, it's a turf war. Writing center is upstairs. Perhaps we can schedule a visit. Same for Keystone. In-class workshops are ongoing. We will do these from time to time. Again, specifically when I'm providing global feedback, you should be banging out corrections. If you are using that time to write, you're putting yourself behind the eight ball, as they say. You should be ready for feedback when you come in during draft day. Those are the students that get A's. The other ones are catching up the whole way and they fall into the B and C category. Okay, don't depend too much on them. Get your work done outside the classroom. That's what I say. I will give you a break during each class session, typically 5 minutes, halfway through the class. Absences mean, right, absences. Absences mean you are not present to learn the concepts of the course. To presume that you can avoid class for weeks and then slide your papers under the door at the last second, that's foolish. Let's not do that. I will look for things in your writing. It's like, oh, we covered that and it's not here. We covered that and it's not there. You're not showing me what I've been talking about in the classroom. So then I just, start knocking it down. It's just, it sucks to have to do it at the end of the class, but there are always students. There's always a handful that miss a lot of class. And then at the end, right, if you have an accommodation or if you have documentation, then that's a different story. Students handle that with me all the time. They say, hey, Downing, I had to be in court, jury duty. I don't know, something like that, some legit. I had to go to the doctor and they show me some paperwork. That's fine. But it's usually not 4 weeks of class. Global feedback we've talked about. My advice then is to come to class, complete the work, hit all the deadlines, get a good grade. That's the deal as far as Downing is concerned. And engage, demonstrate to me why you are an A student, if that's what you presume to be. Okay, that's all I have right now. Thanks for watching and let's talk. Stop and share. See ya.